Welcome back to Thirukkural a Day, Chapter 6, Kural 2. The sudden darkness was punctuated by Mali's booming laughter. Looks like someone forgot to pay the electricity bill, Mrs.? Vijaya, however, was far from amused. The power cut only compounded the chaos that had descended upon her meticulously ordered home. மனைமாட்சி இல்லாள்கண் இல்லாயின் வாழ்க்கை எனைமாட்சி தாயினும் இல். If the wife be devoid of domestic excellence, whatever other greatness be possessed, the conjugal state is nothing. Questions for you. Can a home truly function regardless of material wealth or other achievements if the fundamental household excellence is absent? How does one maintain order and a sense of well-being when faced with unexpected disruption and a house full of contrasting personalities? Vijaya fumbled for her phone, its flashlight beam cutting through the inky darkness. It's probably just a temporary outage, she said, trying to sound more reassuring than she felt. Rajamani, ever the optimist, chimed in. Don't worry, Vijaya. You always manage to sort things out. This vote of confidence, however well-intentioned, did little to soothe her frayed nerves. With the power out, the already precarious balance of the household tipped further into disarray. Captain Caspian, accustomed to the strict routines of a submarine, began pacing the living room, muttering about the lack of proper lighting and bumping into furniture. His attempts to navigate in the dark were punctuated by the occasional loud blast and damnation. Lata, who had been engrossed in her painting before the blackout, let out a frustrated groan. Now I can't see. The strains of a rather off-key sea shanty filled the darkness as Captain Caspian tried to entertain himself, much to Lata's growing annoyance. Can't he sing something else? She grumbled to Rajamani. Mali, undeterred by the lack of electricity, declared that he would still whip up a culinary masterpiece using his trusty gas stove. This initially seemed like a stroke of luck until the aroma emanating from the kitchen turned into a plume of acrid smoke. Vijaya rushed in to find Mali surrounded by blackened pots and a sheepish Ben who confessed to accidentally knocking over a bag of spices into the simmering curry. மனைமாட்சி இல்லாள்கண் இல்லாயின் வாழ்க்கை எனைமாட்சி தாயினும் இல். If the wife be devoid of domestic excellence, whatever other greatness be possessed, the conjugal state is nothing. Vijaya surveyed the scene, the darkened house, the frustrated daughter, the singing captain, the smoky kitchen, and Ben looking like he'd been dragged through a hedge backwards. She felt a surge of determination. She would not let her home descend into utter chaos. She grabbed a handful of candles and distributed them, casting flickering shadows across the walls. Captain Caspian, he said firmly, perhaps a quieter form of entertainment would be appreciated. The shanty trailed off mid-verse. She then turned her attention to the kitchen disaster. Mali, she said, trying to keep her voice even. Let's see what we can salvage. Ben, perhaps you could help Rajamani find some more lanterns. Over the next few hours, Vijaya was a whirlwind of activity. She organized Lata with a deck of cards. She guided Mali in salvaging what he could make for a makeshift dinner. She even managed to find a dusty box of old board games which surprisingly captivated Captain Caspian. However, the sheer volume of misplaced items, the growing piles of laundry from 5 extra people, and the general disruption to her meticulously organized systems were starting to take their toll. She attempted to implement a color-coded storage system for the crew's belongings, much to their bewilderment. Ben kept losing his tools. Caspian's nautical charts seemed to multiply overnight, and Mali's culinary experiments left a trail of unexpected ingredients in the most unlikely places. Rajamani, observing Vijaya's increasingly frantic attempts to restore order, offered a hesitant, "Are you alright, Vijaya?" You seem a bit stressed. Stressed? Stressed? Vijaya repeated, her voice rising slightly. Rajamani, our house looks like a pirate ship exploded in a laundrette. I'm trying to maintain some semblance of household excellence while navigating a never ending stream of demands and disasters. He gestured wildly at a tower of mismatched socks that had somehow appeared on the dining table. My life is becoming worthless. Just then a loud crash echoed from upstairs. Lata shrieked, Amma, I think something just fell in Captain Caspian's room. Vijaya's eyes widened in alarm. What fresh catastrophe awaited her now? She raced up the stairs. Rajamani and the crew closed behind to find Captain Caspian standing amidst a pile of books and a shattered porcelain. Blimey, he exclaimed, looking sheepish. Slipped on one of those, what do you call them? Anime things? Art things? In his hand, he held a rather delicate and valuable antique figurine that had been precariously balanced on the bookshelf. Its head had clearly broken off. Vijaya stared at the damage, her carefully maintained facade of composure finally cracking. A strangled gasp escaped her lips. That was my grandmother's.